Hi submarine friends. So I'm starting my next little project here. The electrical system is all under control in the submarine now. But I'm thinking that I should get this auxiliary power. Oh, that's cold. I should get the auxiliary power built because I want to mount it in the back as well. So before I box myself in, I want to get this in there. So this motor right now is at minus 20 degrees Celsius because I just brought it in from the storage shed. So this is like a golf cart motor. It's actually out of a submarine that I bought many years ago called Gamma. That submarine, when I sold it, weighed 6,000 pounds. And this motor was the original motor that drove that submarine. I simply replaced it with a new one that was the same size. But I think this motor still works. So I'm going to bench test it. Now, this motor actually propelled that submarine quite nicely, and that was the only form of propulsion. It was directly coupled to a propeller, and it had plenty of power, pushed it along just fine. So what I want to do is, I need to make a coupler from this shaft to this shaft on this pump. Now this shaft is damaged, that's my problem. So I don't know, first I'm going to wire it up and get it working, make sure it works. Then I have to decide how I'm going to do this coupling because of the damage. So I may take the armature out and put it in the lathe and fix it. Or I may put a coupler on here, sweat it on, and then machine it so that it's true, and then machine the bore for this. So I won't know until I start testing and looking and measuring and figuring, but that won't take long. So that's the plan. So this hydraulic pump will be coupled with a hydraulic valve that I already have, and I will simply tie into the hydraulic lines that go to the motor. So the engine hydraulic system will be completely intact, but it'll have to be in neutral, so to speak, so that the fluid from this motor doesn't push back against the pump on the engine. No problem. So as long as I put it in neutral, I don't have to worry about it. And then it'll just operate off a separate valve, which I will control from the front of the submarine because I'll typically be sitting in the front of the submarine looking out the front window while I'm submerged looking at things. Now you're thinking, well, this is a pretty small motor to be pushing a 9,000 pound submarine. It's not actually. It takes very little power to move the submarine slowly. And when you're submerged in a lake in Canada, your visibility is, 15 feet, 20 feet. Sometimes 5 feet. So you can't go fast because you'll run into things. I used to have that problem with my submarine Gamma, the one that this motor originally came from. I would be cruising along and I couldn't stop fast enough and I was crashing into things because I would travel long distances submerged, cover lots of ground, see lots of stuff. So one thing I learned is you can't go fast. So the problem is propellers work poorly in reverse. So you can't just throw it in reverse full power. It doesn't do much because the propellers are terrible in reverse. So no problem, this will work just fine. This pump, I think this pump will be sized nicely for this motor. I mean, that can be changed. The pump can be changed easily. You can get this pump in many, many gallons per minute size options. So I think it'll work just fine. So wish me luck. Fingers crossed this motor still works because I'm on a zero spending mode right now with the incoming tariffs from the US. We don't know where we're going to be economically, and that impacts every Canadian. So spending stops right now until we know more. So wish me luck here. Ciao.